Welcome. Are you a food and fitness lover? Well, you've landed in the right place. I'm Chef Tina Martini, but you might know me as the Medicine Chef. Well, today in the Ageless Kitchen, we're cooking the book, and we're doing a really fun recipe today. It's the mini street tostadas with the black bean hummus. You heard right. It's a Southwest twist on everybody's favorite snack. We're on page 52. And I know you've got your copy of Delicious Medicine, so let's go, chefs. All right, so we've got our mise en place together. Let's do our tortillas first. I'm using the almond flour tortillas today, and that's gonna give us that complete amino acid picture, heart health, and beautiful skin, all in a tortilla. So you can buy the street taco size, or you can cut your own. So let me show you how I did it. I'm just going to take a measuring cup. Our metal measuring cup will do just fine. If you've got a biscuit cutter, then go ahead and use that as well. We're just going to use that just right as a cookie cutter. And it just stamps it right out and gives us our perfect little street tortilla. Now, what are we going to do with all the leftover tortilla? Well, we're going to flavor it and bake it in the oven and crunch it up and use it as a topping for salads, soups, or anything that you like. All right, here's a handy hint for you. Boy, it's all over the internet, isn't it? Everybody talking about the inflammatory nature of nut and seed oils. Well, first of all, I want to ask you, how much are you eating of the nut and seed oils, and are you using a good quality grade? Well, we want to reduce the oil regardless of what kind of oil we're using, and this is the best way to do it. I've got a shallow bowl of warm water, and I'm just going to take a good quality pan spray, whatever your favorite one is, and I'm going to mist the pan spray on top of the water. I know, isn't that the craziest thing you've ever seen? We're going to go ahead and take our pre-cut tortillas. I'm just going to slide it right in and right out, and that's going to give us about 1/8 of the oil that we normally would have had we fried the tortillas. I'm going to lay it down on a parchment lined sheet, and we just go in and out the warm water, and it just picks up just enough of that oil. Isn't that a great trick? Now, another trick that you can do if you want to do a fancy taco bowl for your kids or a fun party, you just cover a bowl with foil and parchment paper. Remember, we don't want the aluminum foil on our food if we can avoid it. And then you drape the dipped tortilla over the covered bowl, or coffee can works, and bake that in the oven. And now you turn it up and it's a fancy taco bowl. The kids will love it, and it will look very gourmet at your next fiesta. Let's go ahead and pop them in. And I've just got the oven at 350, 375. We're just gonna let it go until they're nice and golden and crispy. And while they're working, let's go ahead and make our vinaigrette. It's a French formulation, and it starts with something that's going to help us emulsify our vinaigrette. Now, what's an emulsification? Well, it's a chefy word that means bringing two things together that normally don't mix, like oil and water. This is going to be oil and vinegar. Now, we've got a really great taste sensation here with our sherry vinegar. Did you know that this is the signature for that flavor of your favorite Kung Pao dish? So, yep, it's the sherry or the sherry vinegar. I'm just going to put a couple tablespoons in, and we're going to go ahead and resonate with our orange salad and carry that theme throughout the menu. So I've got a little bit of fresh pressed orange juice, just a tablespoon or so. You could do a little bit of honey if you liked a sweeter vinaigrette. And let's go ahead and just add just a little bit of our Dijon mustard. This is going to act as our emulsifier, and it's going to help bring the vinaigrette together. All right, I've got a good quality avocado oil. You could use your olive oil here. It's all about the good fat, isn't it? So let's go ahead and create our vinaigrette and our emulsification. Now, you know what it's like to try to whisk by yourself. You don't have 3 arms. So here's your third hand right here, chefs. It's a damp kitchen towel. So just go ahead and just get it down. Season with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, and then we can re-season when we're ready. All right, so we're just gonna whisk our mustard, our vinegar, and our orange juice. And again, if you like it a little sweeter, you're gonna go ahead and add maybe a little bit of honey or some monk fruit sweetener, coconut sugar, whatever you like. Now, we've got our bowl on our damp towel, and if you want, you can form a little nest, and that's going to hold it even more secure. Very good chef technique. And I'm going to continue whisking as I stream the oil in evenly until we come to that emulsification that we're looking for. So you can see it start to get really creamy, really silky and smooth, and just go ahead and finish it up. I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of lime juice. So let's just get a lime wedge here. Remember, it's all the Southwest flavors that we're threading through our menu. Finish it with a little bit of fresh lime. Whisk that in. This goes in the fridge, and I've got another handy hint for you. All right, chefs, we're going to make our hummus now. We're going to use canned beans. We're going to get the organic ones that have no BPA in the can, and we're going to ice bath them. And what that's going to do is freshen the bean back up, tighten the protein up. So on the palate, the taste and the feel are all saying you made them fresh at home. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of all the salty brine. And then I'm going to use cannellini beans. Now, normally hummus is made with garbanzo, isn't it? Did you know that cannellini has the perfect ratio of omega-3 to 6? And garbanzo has the worst ratio, 24 omega-6 to 3. Too much omega-6 can actually cause tumors to grow. What are the benefits of omega-3? What exactly are fatty acids? Well, they're the good fats that actually seal the water you drink to your tissue. If you don't eat good fat and you drink a gallon of water a day, it dissipates right through your vascular system. Did you know that? What are good fats? Avocado, nuts and seeds, the cannellini beans. So we know the benefits of anti-inflammatory, heart health, brain health, but they also balance the hormones better than anything else we know of. Who needs hormone replacement? Get your omega-3s in perfect ratio. All right, so I've gotten rid of all the salty brine and kind of that canned taste. And now I'm gonna just plunge it right into the ice bath. You can do this in your sink, chefs. So what we wanna do is agitate the beans in our fine mesh strainer. And you can really see that the water is foamy and got a lot of cloudiness to it. So we want to just keep rinsing, keep repeating, and get all of the foam off of the beans. And what you end up with are really firm, bright, fresh tasting beans, and no one will ever know you used a can. All right, so we're going to drain those and we're going to put them in the blender and get our hummus together. And we're gonna work in our blender today because not everybody has a food processor, so a good quality blender is all we need. Now the ice bath beans go right in the blender with all of our other ingredients. And what are the usual suspects in our hummus? Well, we've got the tahini, knee medicine. Does anyone have sore knees out there? Well, tahini or sesame butter, one of the #1 ways to take the inflammation down in the knees. And truthfully, we don't really understand why the sesame seed focuses on the knee joint, but we know that it does, and it takes the inflammation and all that kind of gritty feeling underneath the kneecap out. So get your tahini. It's great for vinaigrettes. It's great for your hummus. There's a lot of uses. So we're gonna put all of the different ingredients that go with the traditional hummus in our Southwest, but I also like to kick up that Southwest flavor. How can we do that? Well, we could certainly add a little bit of our favorite salsa, couldn't we? And that's already got the garlic in it. It's got some citrus, cilantro, nice roasted tomatoes. So that's really gonna fortify the Southwest flavor that we're going for with our tostadas. All right, so we're just gonna blitz that up in our blender. If you need to get the beans moving a little bit more, chefs, just add a little bit more of your lemon or your lime juice, and that's gonna help puree. Remember, we wanna get that extra minute or two on the blending because that aerates whatever we're blending or grinding down, and it gives that beautiful, airy, light as a feather feel on the palate. So let's go ahead and finish blending up all of our hummus ingredients. Perfection. Yep, it's just that last little minute that all of a sudden they'll go really fast. I want them a little more crispy, and you're going to too. Go ahead and let them go another minute. Let's go ahead and take our tortillas out because they're nice and crispy. And you'll see that they ruffle up on the edges nicely, so it gives a beautiful little movement to your plate. Now let's go ahead and make sure that we've got them nice and crisp the way, oh yes. Oh, chefs, they're perfect. And look at the tiny little one, is so cute. Somebody's gonna love that. All right, so let's go ahead and just leave these aside as we prepare to build our plate. Our hummus is done. We wanna make sure that it's thoroughly blended. So remember to put that extra minute on, and that way we get the nice creamy texture. Let's see how we're doing here. Perfection. Okay, so we've got our hummus, we've got our tortillas, we've got our perfectly ripe avocado, cilantro, some lime, and some radishes. Now in the book, you'll see that I have some diced tomato on top. You could do a dollop of your prepared salsa if you'd like. So you're gonna go ahead and top them the way you want. Now remember, chefs, if you don't want the fruit on the tostada, I get it. Just serve it as a beautiful side salad. Let's open our avocado now. So this is one of the great sources of that essential fatty acid that we were talking about earlier. And the avocado has all of the essential minerals as well. So really great choice here, and it just brings that whole summer vibe together. So I'm just gonna run my tip. Now remember, chefs, we're going really carefully here. The avocado and the bagel are two reasons people end up in the hospital most. Did you know that? So let's really be careful. Use just the tip of the knife. And you don't have to use a razor sharp chef's knife as I'm using. Oh, did nature make anything more beautiful than this? The only thing we have left to do now is to chiffonade our kale. The dinosaur kale, really, really dark green. That tells us that it's got all the great chlorophyll. Remember, there's 3 different benefits to chlorophyll, but the bottom line is it oxygenates the blood and it increases longevity. So we definitely want to get leafy greens of some type every day. So I'm going to stack it up like I'm going to roll a little cigar out of it, and then we're going to hold our knife really close, tuck the fingers, and then we're just going to cut small ribbons of the kale. Hey, nobody wants a big hard mouthful of kale. That's why a lot of times in the gourmet restaurants, they massage the kale with salt and olive oil before they put it in the salad. This way, the salt and the olive oil start actually breaking the kale down before it gets composed into your finished dish. We're gonna get the vinaigrette out. Here's our dinosaur kale. Let's go ahead and add some of that juice and some of the orange segments. And avocado going in. We need to season everything, don't we? Pepper, a little bit of sea salt. We've got our beautiful vinaigrette that we made earlier. So I'm just gonna dish some of that up. And let's just start with just a light tablespoon or so. Isn't that beautiful? Look how pretty that is. And let's add just a little bit of radish. This is very traditional in our Hispanic cuisine. Doesn't that look great? I could just eat this whole bowl right now. I don't know about you. You want to join me? Come on, grab a spoon. All right, so that's all set. Now, do we want to put it on the tostada? Well, I think it looks really pretty that way. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of our tortillas. Oh, and they're just perfect. We'll get a little bit of this hummus. We'll just spread it right on. We want to coat the tortilla or the tostada really thoroughly. And then I'm just going to take off a little bit of that vinaigrette. Remember, it's more like a marinated fruit and veg. We'll park some of that kale on there and another little piece of radish. And then I'm going to do just a dollop of our salsa. And remember, we did put a little bit of the salsa inside. So we're just going to put a beautiful, oh my gosh. What about this for lunch, chefs? How do you like this? Let's go ahead and make another one. And I'm just going to smear the hummus on. And I like to be generous. We don't want a big mess when we're eating things. And did you know that that's part of the way a restaurant gets its Michelin stars? The ease of eating of the dish counts as well. Do we serve spaghetti at a black tie affair when everybody's wearing beautiful white gowns? No, we don't, unless we have a sense of humor. All right, let's go ahead and build another. Oh, I don't know about you, but this is my kind of eating, chef. So fresh, so lovely, and just building the body to its maximum potential. Let's get a beautiful piece of that avocado. Oh, do we want a little bit more of that salsa? Well, yes, I think we do. I'm going to put it right in the center, and let's do just a few more little ribbons. And there we are. And then we could do some of our salad. And again, we just are using the vinaigrette more as kind of a marinade. And then I'm just going to park that to the side with a few more pieces of that gorgeous orange that's been supremed. Part of my goal as a teaching chef is to help you think like a professional chef. It'll make your life so much easier in the kitchen. Well, one of the things that we want to really focus on are our knife skills, and that really helps make food prep much quicker and much more beautiful. To supreme is to lift a beautiful clean segment right out of the whole citrus. No pith on it at all. It's so much nicer on the palate. You don't have all that stringy fiber to deal with, and you're right to the juiciness of the beautiful citrus. Your secret, chefs, a beautiful razor sharp slicing blade. This is mine, and you can see that the metal or the blade itself is very thin and razor sharp. And what that's going to do is slide right in between the flesh and the pith of the fruit and help you to lift that segment right out of the whole citrus. Beautiful and perfect. And now you know how to do your supremes. The secret, chefs, a good sharp knife. Remember what I always say, what's the most dangerous thing in the kitchen besides me? A dull knife. So there you have it. We're ready for summer. Mini street tostadas with black bean hummus and an orange herb salad that is going to satisfy the palate, and you have a dish that anyone will love. Super satisfying, super well balanced, cool the body, and keep you moving all summer long. I'm Chef Tina Martini. Thank you so much for joining me today in the Ageless Kitchen. Here's to your radiant health. Hummus is good. It's got good flavor with the chili powder, and you know, it's got the garlic, and yeah, it's yummy. Yum. That's yummy. Yum. I love that. Oh yeah, yummy. I'll eat that all day long. And I know that the flavor combination seems so odd, but once you put everything together, you're going to be astounded at how delicious all the different flavors, the bite and the richness of the sherry vinegar the creaminess of the avocado. The hummus has got just a little bit of spice to it. It is perfection. Come on, all summer long.